Hi there, welcome to the latest discussions and news within the Noah Presgrove case. Been a bit busy today with some earlier videos on the case, latest updates provided by the odd family member and even separate high-profile people, the odd one being arrested, and further details within court documents being revealed there to that extent. All quite shocking. You want to catch up on all of that once you've finished this video. You'll be able to locate it, top right corner of the screen on this video right now. Top right corner, hover over there, you'll find the I symbol, click on it. But before you do so, I need to explain what we're going to be taking a look at specifically today. And it's to do with a continuation of the highway scene, the supposed video evidence of tampering with Noah's shorts and replacing them. If you haven't seen last night's video, you'll be able to catch up on it if you do click on the I symbol, just so you get an idea of the backstory. Now, we're specifically looking at a comment made by Michael Fazekas, who has been quite prominent within the different, pages and communities on Facebook in regards to the case, from, I guess, his research, how he's also being attacked on the receiving end of stuff, things being hacked alongside Alicia Lee. So all kind of messy, right? But to be honest, we did look at Michael Fazekas in the past when it was first announced months ago now to do with the highway footage, trying to give an explanation from what he knew of at the time and what he did with the info, passing it on to the FBI office, his local one. What's happened since? Well, it doesn't seem like much on the surface level, publicly speaking, but nevertheless, why do we need to look back at something that I've already previously done? Well, it's because we've learned in between with some additional details. Caden Pressey as well, who acknowledged seeing the video himself by the hands of Kathy Bingham. Kathy Bingham being the one that received it from supposedly a truck driver who was on scene at the time of when it was all going on, September 4th, Monday, 2023. So it's quite a mouthful, but we're going to get through it bit by bit. I'm going to reinforce the importance behind it because there was a person who left a comment yesterday suggesting it would be good to take a look at it. And upon just having a quick read, I can understand why. It's quite significant. Maybe it has been cleared up, but once again, on a public level, service level, doesn't seem to be the case. If we need to implement the maps today, I'll do so, just to get my point across, visually speaking. But for those that are in attendance, welcome. If you're currently watching this live premiere, share your thoughts and opinions in the live chat box on the right-hand side of the screen. Let me know. And by the end of this video, if your thoughts have changed, opinions, you got any questions, drop a comment down below under this video. I can always respond back later. You'll also find a pinned message by me with additional links if you do want to support this channel. With that all being said and done, we're going to start off with the Facebook post, which is actually a repost of a past one, what Michael had to say back then. I believe it's on the case discussion page, which he is, or at least was, a part of. I know when it came to some drama and conflict over time, he might have left a page or something, as said. That's not as relevant right now. What is what was stated back then by Michael. Let's take a look at it. Now, this was posted 2 days ago by Christina Thompson, an individual that has come up in many discussion threads, leaving comments and questions. And the caption here is, I'm hoping to figure out if this post is talking about the same video that Caden Pressey claims to have seen. I would say likely yes. The reason I ask is because the video this is talking about supposedly happened hours before the 911 call, so Noah would no longer have shorts on at 5:15 a.m. I'm just trying to sort through all of this information that I've gathered. So I might have a bit of an idea as to what this could all mean, but let's just read it first, the post. Now, will it show? Kind of. I don't know why it's on the far left-hand side of the screen. That's just Facebook being dodgy. I can zoom in here because I know the font isn't the best. I don't know what it is with people with dodgy fonts and text. I'm guessing this screenshot is not directly from Michael Fazekas, but more so another person a member on a particular page, could be links to previous screenshots if it's the same font. You know, even when it's not that significant, you look for these little patterns, all kinds of stuff can pop up out of nowhere. But Michael Fazekas, and this would have been in the past likely, at least to what I can remember, there's a fair chance that I covered this comment way back then when it was first coming out, the news of the highway situation and that footage, and trying to figure out when it actually happened. But there is a particular line which goes against Caden's timeline. It could leave people to scratch their heads and wonder what the hell's going on. So let's just begin reading. Michael originally said, the video that clearly shows officials at the scene unofficially. How does that make sense? Well, pretty much. You have people in certain power positions, you know, policeman or firefighter, things like that. But the showing up, not on call. The showing up, I don't know if you call it off duty, or more so appearing at a time of when they're not needed or wanted. And then later calls are made officially in to the officials, and then the officials show up. So it's like some getting early access earlier on at the scene. But why would it be done unofficially? For dodgy reasons, possibly. The video that breaks the narrative being pushed by certain families, to say certain families, more than one, no direct names given, would Michael be hinting at the Howard family, or the Howard or Combs family, either one? Maybe the Milan family, or more so the Newtons. There's a couple out there, isn't there? The video that shows Noah wearing black shorts and then being removed by law enforcement. The video that shows that Dawn was not even occurring during the filming of the video, which changes the entire timeline. Well, if it does, wouldn't that impact cadence? The video that shows people at the scene hours before 911 was called. This is why I called it the video, because if the person reading this had the video, they would know what. Right. Michael Fazekas, because there were some other comments made by him in the past, where I believe Michael didn't see the video himself, but he knows who does have copies of it. 2 to 3 people, and then you got the original person with the original footage. Now, those 2 to 3 people that had copies, and Michael knew of them, did that include Kathy Bingham? Because as we heard, the story transpired later on, more so in recent time, Caden Pressey referenced. Now, I know the private interview took place in June of 2024, which is in the past, but it was leaked or hacked more so in recent time. That's why I word it that way, just for context. When Caden in the private interview mentioned how Kathy Bingham came round to his place of living and showed him the footage. And then later, when questioned externally online, Caden Pressey backed it up, or those doing it on behalf of Alicia Lee or Caden provided the CCTV footage or portion of it, posted it online to show Kathy with multiple devices, private investigator showing Alicia Lee and husband a photo, an image, which was moving, which more likely a video, not a photo. And in between all that, you had Kathy Bingham calling out Caden Pressey and questioning him and doubting him. It was a bit of a mess, chain reaction of negative events, all because of that leaked, that hacked interview being put publicly. Some say Brooke Bounds Carter was responsible. Others may think elsewhere. Some in between believe it was done and then passed on to a particular YouTube channel. And to be honest, a particular YouTube channel has supposedly referenced me in recent time, which is a bit random, but I got a heads up regarding, well, in terms of a viewer who came across it. So maybe I'll take a look at it later if there is time. But for now, we need to focus on more pressing matters, don't we? So we're back at the top, aren't we? Okay. So what would be the problem? Anyone watching right now, what do you think is the main problem when reading this? I mean, we've got the backstory with what Michael has said with other posts and comments, and that's documented on my channel. If you need to look back at that, you can. Maybe this time I'll try and get a hold of it if I can find it now or later. But yeah, the video Kane Pressey made reference to it as well. There was like officials there, a police person present, removing the black shorts. Yeah, being removed by law enforcement, but not any description of being replaced with the white ones, I don't think. Well, I believe so. The video that shows that dawn wasn't even occurring. Entire timeline. If it changes the entire timeline of whose timeline, though? Because there's different timelines. You got Caden Pressey's in June, then you got Caden Pressey's in July, then you got Jack Newton's never-ending jack of all trades story time. And then there's other people that have provided timelines, whether that be publicly or privately. It's not just one timeline, is it? It's never been one timeline because there's been different stories and things switching and changing. So who is Michael actually referring to here when he says the timeline or a timeline? I wonder. But the most problematic thing, and it was mentioned in the caption, that the video occurred hours before 911 was called. How would Michael know that when he wasn't physically there? Well, we'll get to it bit by bit, of course. But what I'd like to do is take a look at the discussions. Oh my goodness, there's nearly 400 comments. Woo! Well, we'll glide for it if necessary, okay? I just want to see. Just see what people think, and then I can add on my thoughts. A very good point. That's crazy. If this is true, that would make... Okay. You never know, it might have been cleared up, or there could be additionals. Andrea, but the video is hours before the 911, then how would Caden Pressey see the black shorts that had already been removed? None of it makes sense. Black shorts removed after. Caden saw them on Noah roadside after, and knows exactly Ellie, the whole scenario. Some people seem to refer or say to volunteer fire people, or are Ellie, they're not. Caden Pressey saw Noah before the 911 calls. Yeah, but it wasn't hours before. It's been stated that the tampering occurred hours before, but Caden would have been after that. So how would have Caden seen the black shorts? Yeah, I believe that others that saw it now at the time with Caden have corroborated that which Caden's claimed. I believe that others that saw now. So you talk about Brylan Sweat, Isaac Rojas, Mikey Lair. Well, I've not physically seen it myself directly from the horse's mouth of people backing up Caden Pressey, but it has been stated that at least one other guy has corroborated with what Caden said to reinforce it. But is that to do with the Kathy Bingham situation previously, when Kathy Bingham interviewed like 6 different people and she believed that 2 were truly innocent? You know, does anyone remember that? Andrea, Jack came to the house, announced Noah dead, and they went to roadside, saw Noah, and it was before the 911 calls. Yeah, but still, the timing, you need to acknowledge that, and we'll get to it eventually. Amanda, I remember his Aunt Robin saying the kids told her he didn't want to get dressed after the shower and was running around naked. Maybe that could explain why the shorts came off. Oh no. Let's see here. Robin Smith, the aunt. They said... Who is they? The party goers. But who exactly? Do we have any context? We see them in the condition. Right. So just before we get to that, to do the shorts, they said the clothes he originally had on were filthy. So they put him in a friend's shorts. Out the Jack Newton narrative of the white shorts, borrowing them. I believe Dalen received the black shorts in the condition Noah had left them in. At that point, we all didn't know what was to come with the determination that it was not a hit and run. So I don't know who's actually left that comment because the name's not included. This is probably from the past as well. But, So the shorts Dalen received were in the condition that Noah had left them in. Well, isn't it interesting how Partners in True Crime said that they've seen the shorts themselves? And Noah's black shorts were ripped and torn. Why the hell would they be in that condition? Interesting how Noah's shorts are ripped and torn, yet there's not much injuries to his lower body. I mean, there might be exceptions, but can I just give you a quick example? Let's say you were running and you tripped and you skidded on the ground and you tore some of your clothing, upper or lower body, and then it led to a graze or a cut in that area on skin. It made contact with the ground. It's gone through the layers, literally. For shorts to be torn, shredded in a way, what would have caused that? But no injury to the actual body itself, unless something got caught, snagged, got tugged. Maybe a separate video is needed for that, or maybe a shorts video for that awareness, possibly. Teresa, if they gave him a shower and put the shorts on him, was he unconscious? Did they say why they had to do those things? Why couldn't he do it himself? Robin Smith then says, they said he was fully conscious with no injury. Well, that's supposedly a lie. They didn't explain why they had to help him into the shower, but they said that after the shower he was running around naked, not wanting to get dressed, so they made him get dressed. Now, the partygoers or whoever, the witnesses, are almost like kind of like putting it across as if Noah is some kind of wild individual who can't control himself in an infantile way. Is it really like that? Well, I think you go to some of the first couple of lines where it says, they didn't explain, but they said, the first line or so, they said he was fully conscious with no injury. And this is supposedly to do with the shower situation. Now, although I've not seen the shower video and most people haven't, a couple have claimed to have watched it in the past. I'm guessing from Facebook when it was posted. As for who posted it and why, and then why did they take it down, that's unknown of. That's a big problem in itself, isn't it? Were people doing it to tease? Was it posted or uploaded at the time of the party or beyond post-death of Noah? Because if it was post-death, then that would open up more questions, wouldn't it? But nevertheless, some people gave the description saying that Noah, a consistent description by a couple that watched it, that Noah was stood up, he was somewhat conscious. Okay, that seems to tick some of the boxes, standing up by himself and everything, but it was showing the back of him, so you couldn't really make much out. As for injuries, unknown of. But, whereas Robin Smith has been told from some witnesses and partygoers that Noah was at the shower, needed assistance, but the true explanation wasn't given, and there was no injuries, the no injury line could well be a lie. From what Caden Pressey said in the private interview is that the timestamp of 2:40 a.m. Monday morning, 2023, September 4th, is when the side-by-side rollover occurred. Caden Pressey did not see it because he was asleep. 2 minutes later, though, he was woken up by his mother phone call. So that's kind of interesting, very close timing, but still Caden said he didn't see or hear anything. So I guess it is what it is. But at some point, he was shown that footage of the rollover later. So that's why he was able to comment about it, what he saw. Now, in terms of the Partners in True Crime interview, Caden Pressey couldn't talk about certain stuff because he didn't remember seeing or hearing it. And that's interesting more now in its own right, because whilst Caden could word it along the lines like that roughly, didn't see or didn't hear, but technically he saw it afterwards at some point, from what he said in the private interview, a video recording of the side-by-side rollover, which is very interesting when you think more and more about it. But one's a private interview, the other one's public. What you say in the private one, you might not be able to say in the public one. I get that. It might have been better if Caden just said, I can't talk about this, I don't want to talk about that, it's not possible to do so. I think Justin Roy may have worded it like that in regards to certain things in his interview originally, but still, it is what it is, but it's still worth acknowledging, right? So with that side-by-side, Ken said he saw the video, Noah got up, and he had a bloodied nose. Would that be a cut on the outside, on the inside, burst blood vessel, broken nose? Who knows? But still, Noah was injured, and there was a form of blood loss. Might not be major or critical or fatal, but an injury is an injury, and with the blood flow as well coming out, could be another reason as to why a shower was needed. Was there any blood, droplets on the ground? Who knows? Was that blood loss from that nose injury linked on with the other blood loss which couldn't be traced back or couldn't be found? Maybe not to that extent. I mean, not that we know, but is there a way to estimate how much blood Noah could have lost from that side-by-side rollover from the nose area? Because you can lose quite a bit of blood from the nose, depending, like when you get like a nosebleed, some of the more intense ones when you've got certain conditions, the flow doesn't stop, it becomes a bit problematic. You see now it streams down. But yeah, is there a way to estimate the blood loss from the nose injury, the timing of it, around 2:40 up to, what are we saying, 4 a.m. in the morning, the supposed time of death from what Jack Newton stated in that text conversation with Justin Roy? Would it be justified? If not, would you be able to recover that blood loss? You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you got like a little cut on your arm or so, you lose a bit of blood, oh well, it's not the end of the world. It can heal up and regenerate yourself with time, you get better and well. If you get like major blood loss, it's going to be problematic. You need to fill him back up again. So does it play any role or factor, the blood loss from Noah's injury from the side-by-side up to the actual death of Noah and other injuries sustained, or is it two separate things and there was blood regenerated in between? I hope that makes sense. If not, it doesn't matter too much. Still, fact is, from what Caden witnessed through that video recording, Noah was injured. But in the past, more so in the past, from what Robin Smith stated online, based off what she's been told by of other partygoers, whoever they are, no names mentioned, oh, Noah wasn't injured whatsoever. Why do you have to word it like that and go against what Caden has said? There's no injuries. Oh, because an actual injury isn't relevant or links to the death, or that's what they think, and that it's not that significant anyway. An injury is an injury, blood loss is blood loss, it's all important. At the end of the day, a timeline is important, all the events that come with it. To understand, when did Noah get injured? When did that happen? When did this happen? Does it link or not? It'd be important to acknowledge and highlight it. To just completely ignore it, gloss over it and say, no injuries, no, it's fine, it's like a sign of downplaying it. The factor of it occurring, that supposed injury, beforehand, before the shower, on site with others present, is it because people don't want to acknowledge that? I mean, if Noah was the one in the side-by-side, the one who operated it and rolled over himself, then that's, I don't know if it sounds negative saying, but that's kind of on him. Reckless driving, messing about. That's how it seems to come across, doesn't it? So why would there be a need to hide those injuries or injury? Why is there a need to blanket, ignore it? If Noah's injured, he's injured. And yet from what people have told Robin Smith, no, he's not at that point. A little bit dodgy. Anyway, let's return back to the conversation. Andrea responds back, thank you for sharing this screenshot. I, for one, don't believe everything that was said by those partygoers and told to the family. Those kids could be telling the family anything they want them to believe. I don't believe for 1 minute that Noah took off walking down the highway wearing only white shorts, no wallet, no new phone, no shirt, 2 mismatched shoes, no hat, no sunglasses, not even carrying his sunglasses, and probably most importantly, those white shorts were found at the scene 25 feet from the body at first, then placed closer, and they were unblemished. Well, reality is that those white shorts were actually found in the middle of the road, and those two truckers, Tyler H. and Tyler Hardy. Now, some of you may pick up on that I said Tyler H. and Tyler Hardy, because it just so happens that the other Tyler, last name, begins with a H, just like Hardy. Oh, it's such a coincidence, isn't it? Such dodgy names. It's like a game of pairs, isn't it? Like a game of Snap. What the hell's going on? But even they, on the phone call, said about there was something in the middle of the road, and that was later mentioned in official news articles. It was the white shorts in the middle of the road. Now, if shorts tampered with from black to white, why weren't the white ones put on Noah's body? Why instead were they found in the middle of the road? Unless they were chucked into the air because people felt, oh, it's taking too long, we need to flee the area before anyone sees us. You know, if you're in a bit of a rush, right? Now, in terms of the theories, the ideas that Noah walked down the highway, that would have been discussed at some point, like you would with any other theory. I suggested it myself, did my own map analysis to make sense of it and learn. And then when the golf club situation came about, I thought, you know what, I just don't think it would be the case, Noah walking down the highway. The golf club situation did change my mind, and that's just a part of the progress within the case. But the act of walking away to clear one's head, from what Jasmine Millan said at the time to Sarah Long, and people rolled their eyes back at that. But then when Cade and Pressy said the same exact thing, that, oh, it's normal for Noah to wander off, oh, people accepted it then. Interesting. Very interesting, isn't it? But you're going to be sceptical more so with some than others if some have been more questionable than others. Once it may be backed up by a more genuine person, or in the eyes of some a more genuine person, then it might make the previous points by the dodgy people more truthful too. Either way, that's what happened. So, yeah, Noah could well have walked off towards the direction of the highway, but not intending on getting that far. And then whether it be on the way down that way he got attacked or ambushed, or when he was attempting to return back to the party house, coming across certain people or an individual, wrong place, wrong time. That's its own video, isn't it? But there's no harm in bringing it up. Let's move on. Amanda, you really have good points. I just don't understand why the shorts would be removed only to be given right back to the family. Some people who saw... But they weren't given back right to the family immediately. There was a delay. And they were supposedly washed before returned back to Noah's family. Let's acknowledge that. Let's not forget the condition of the shorts, from what Partners in True Crime said. Right? And Amanda says, some people who saw the shower video said he was naked in the shower. Then Aunt Robin saying she was told he didn't want to get dressed after the shower and was running nude. I've always wondered about the condition of the shorts when Dalen received them. I thought they must have been dirty. Partners in True Crime said that they saw Noah's black shorts and they were ripped. They were damaged. Maybe people haven't seen this or picked up on it. Maybe I'll have to try and do a separate video about it if I can find it again. What else? Then, why did you not call 911? Being aggressively told to leave depends on which interview you listen to with him. But aside from the time, it still does not line up. Apparently Jack found his body first, left him lying there, runs to the house, tells others. But what time did the pair of the first wave of truck drivers arrive? Oh, we got Beth, shout out to Beth. Right, and Jack found his body first and ran to the house and told others, so I'm sure the others thought Jack had already called. Yeah, you know, if you get there late to the party, no pun intended, you would have assumed that the people who are already present have made calls to the right people. You'd normally think that. If you're the first one to arrive by yourself, then maybe you need to take action directly and make a call. I'm still wondering if the LE swabbed for DNA on Noah's person. In my opinion, as more time goes on, I'm having a hard time believing this video actually exists. Someone would have been arrested by now. I mean, in terms of other videos out there, there was like that wave of people talking about a murder video which showed the guys responsible for beating and attacking Noah. That sounds very critical and hard evidence, doesn't it? If it actually shows the people within the shot. And yet, any arrest? No. You can still argue and say there is a long process to it all, making sure that all the evidence is valid and collected to go to build a strong enough case. But I guess that applied to an extent with the Dylan Rounds case. It just so happened that Brenner was taken in a bit earlier. Should have been taken in much earlier, but still taken in much earlier compared to this case. But that was on unrelated, separate charges. Now, there was still a process there, getting a hold of the evidence, trying to find the body of Dylan, etc. So then they could get full justice and pin Brenner down for being responsible truly. The same could apply here. The only difference is no arrests have been made because no separate charges have been done. But it would be good if separate charges could be filed in some way to get people off the street or, you know, out the public and lock them up so then they can't harm anyone else if it's based on a murder scenario. So like when Brenner was taken into Webby County Jail on gun charges unrelated to the case, it meant that Brenner couldn't walk free and it meant he couldn't hurt anyone else in the meantime whilst the case was being built. to do with the death of Dylan, or at least the disappearance of Dylan. In the Noah Presgrove case, the same could happen if it was down to possibly the social hosting laws being broken. If somehow people could be charged there, and that's the petition in the background where certain Noah Presgrove family members believe it's needed. Now, if that petition was successful, if the social hosting laws, the ones that were broken, and people were charged and apprehended much earlier on, it means they wouldn't be walking as a free person right now, possibly. But then again, Ashley Chadwick, the cousin of Noah, said that it wouldn't be worth going through because those people, if they were apprehended, would be released the next day or within a few hours or so. But who knows? Others believe online that they could go down for some time, maybe a couple of years or so. Who knows? But at the end of the day, direct arrest in correlation to the case probably still wouldn't happen because the case has been built with time. But the problem with that is it feels on the surface level nothing is happening, but it could be in the background. But more importantly, a major problem is these people are walking free. And if anyone was responsible, for the death of Noah, and it was done with a form of intent in a bad way, they could be considered dangerous. Who else could they take out in the future? That's the issue, isn't it, when you got people walking free? It's like with when you get terrorist. It doesn't matter if it's in France, Paris, doesn't matter if it is in London, UK. You got a truck driver that plows through a crowd of people, or a group that shoot up the Bataclan Theatre and 130 plus are dead, or you got the London Bridge attack, or the 2016 Manchester Arena bombing. You get these terrorists, they're on the watch list for a certain length of time. They've been known back then, but a case was being built and they were being studied with time. Some were released from prison a bit earlier, and it was presumed they wouldn't do it again, and look what happened exactly. You can keep your eyes out, you can have tabs on certain individuals and activity, but you leave it too long, as they're walking free, they have opportunities whenever to attack next. So no matter the severity of the person or the danger or the crime, if people are walking free, they can do it all over again, and then maybe they might be taken in. Too little, too late. More people have been harmed, right? You get the idea. And these are real life examples on a more extreme scale to penetrate through the mind and the complex of certain humans who may not understand it. I might get resistance for what I've just said, but tough fucking shit. It's called being realistic. Okay? Let's move on. Exactly. Maybe now with some real investigating going on, it's getting real. How do you think the conversations on this Facebook page is real investigating? Ooh. Okay, we've got some counterpoints outside of here. Are you dense or something? Christina says, I bet I could run circles around you, sweetie. You don't have any real answers, so you want to try and insult people? That's great. Right, so we're getting the typical catfight, bitchy behaviour. We would have seen it to a small degree on YouTube as well. Besides that, it appears that Facebook spazzed out then because it just had a meltdown, it froze, typical, useless. But we're back again. But what I was going to say, one thing I noticed on TikTok, the population or the audience, and it's on a smaller scale, it's different place, times, country, algorithm, but it's more male dominated when it comes to the case compared to on YouTube. So that's a difference. It's not really balanced, but oh well, who cares? Tim, I think most of us are in agreement. The video was a rumour, and I myself included have been trying to make this rumour fit somewhere. It's fine, we can be wrong and still move forwards. Right, so there seems to be more growing doubt that the highway footage probably doesn't exist. People find it hard to believe that it would be real. Obviously, this is a hyperbolic statement taken out of context. The staging of Noah's black shorts removal could not have happened hours before Caden says that he saw the shorts. Yeah, I'm going to do my own little analysis anyway, but if anyone is interested in these full-on conversations, you can always pause the video and read them yourself, because I've got some things to say personally, original video. We can't count on Ellie having done anything correctly though. What do you mean in regards to the video? Just can't make this video fit into place. The video says the firemen would have been arrested by now. Stephanie Bacon, think about the times. The first 911 call was 5:46 hours before, would be 2 hours, possibly more. You know what? I don't want to personally, I don't really want to ruin this. There's a lot of comments here. Does anyone else remember what was the shorts in the first place? Like, right, okay. I want to take over now. What I first want to bring up is show you an extract from Partners in True Crime, their last video on the Noah Presgrove case, the interview with Ashley Chadwick, Robin Smith, as they were reacting to that pre-recorded interview with Jack Newton over the phone. Because I have the clip, I have it right now to play to you in regards to, was it Robin, Cindy, I think that's their names, the host from the channel, who saw the black shorts and what they had to say about it. Robin Smith mentioned something about the shorts weren't dirty, they were okay. But Robin, as we saw earlier on that Facebook post, also mentioned that she was told by partakers that they were dirty or something, but obviously it must have been washed in between before they were handed back to Dalen, I'm guessing. Why do they need to be clean? Just to freshen them up? Sometimes you don't want to freshen them up because if it's the, the scent of the actual person, you want to keep it for a bit. You know, some people have the reasons and stuff, and by washing the clothing, it's like throwing away the memory of the person, especially when it's raw and in recent time. But still, I'm just going to play you the clip right now. Just be sure to listen in.
Did they tell you if there was anything on those shorts? Like, were they dirty? Were they...
No,
ripped?
they weren't dirty.
No,
No,
were they
rips.
ripped?
Yeah, because we saw the black shorts and they were ripped and they were tattered, and there was actually a cigarette burn hole in one of the legs.
You know, clips like that are what's needed to get a hold of. I can understand longer format videos because I do them myself, but it's such a pain in the arse to try and find those key moments. But don't worry, a clip like this, as important as it is, needs to be presented in a short format. I will be doing a YouTube shorts about it. Obviously, I'll give credit to the individual's Partners in True Crime. Hopefully there's no backlash there, but, you know, it needs to be spread as for awareness, because all these comments for quite some time now, I've not seen really anyone make reference to the condition of the shorts, what condition they truly were in, based off witnesses, Robin, Cindy. Why has it not been brought up since? Is it because people have forgotten? Because there's so much overwhelming information or stories that come all over the place, you forget things along the way. It's very natural and normal. It would have happened in other areas too. It's kind of like the clip, which I tried looking for, but I just couldn't find. Justin Roy, maybe I'll reach out to Justin directly, that's the other way. Justin Roy in his interview with Partners in True Crime said the second argument between Noah and Jack on the Monday was aggressive, pushing and shoving physicality. I need to find that clip as a short to highlight it, because it's also important, but at least we got this one. So we're going to be doing a short clip of some shorts. But yeah, it's quite important. Now, as for the burn hole in the shorts, is that to do with the party? Well, they came to a bit of an agreement, whether it be that video directly or beyond in conversation, that the possibility to the burn hole could be another family member that may have been washing or ironing Noah's shorts in the past. Burn holes are permanent unless you patch it up, but there's no need to, or you can't be bothered, then it'll just remain there. So you can't really like make a clear date as to when the burn hole occurred. But as for the shorts being tattered, you know, ripped, torn, obviously they weren't like that before. They weren't like that at the party in the footage, what we saw. So what the hell caused that damage? A hit and run? But it's been ruled out. But would a hit and run in a different scenario cause shorts to be completely torn and shredded, but no damage really done to the leg area? I mean, it was said that there was, grazes or some kind of abrasion on the left buttocks. Does that link in with why the shorts were somewhat torn and shredded because of friction made? Depends. Could you be hit with an object that would cause shorts to tear and rip, but also cause a bit of surface skin damage? I wonder. There's different possibilities, but I just want to throw it out there so you're familiar. So yeah, that's the condition of the shorts. But what about the overall theme of today? So we've returned back to this post on Facebook because Michael Fazekas did respond, and it's obviously important to hear it from the horse's mouth. If I galloped along and just jumped onto the maps and did my own workout mind to try and figure it out, if it's already here, an answer, might as well just focus on that. So back to the comments on all. I'll just briefly go over some in case I've missed any. Not that I need to go too deep with them. But anywhere where Michael Fazekas leaves a comment is something that needs to be looked at. I don't see anything there. Tim, any extended comments? Yeah, there you go. That view previous replies. You always need to click on that because you will miss out a lot if you don't do it. So anywhere where it says Michael Fazekas, I'll take a look at, because that's what the questioning is, what he's saying or what he originally said. And it's kind of interesting with how it's been opened up since. So for anyone watching in the chat right now, bloody hell, 119 replies. It's a good thing I didn't spend all this time looking through every single comment, because it probably would have caused the phone to melt. But, you know, just the theme of shorts being removed, evidence tampered with, like how Caden worded it himself in his, I think, official Facebook statement in the past. It's pretty serious, isn't it? It's a key piece of evidence which was on Noah at the time, likely, of his death. And if it's taken away, why would you want to take it away? And if it's supposedly a hit and run or it's staged to look like that, why would you tamper with any evidence? Why would you harm it yourself? If you're trying to make it look a certain way by removing the shorts and taking them away, you're not doing yourself any favours. You're going against what your original aim was, to stage it. You're going against that, contradicting yourself. So it's important to acknowledge. But there's a lot of heavy discussions, and I think some were saying, why are we going round in circles? It does exist, it is out there. Well, maybe it is, but what about the timing of it? It doesn't seem quite right. Like, what do we have here? 5:21, Caden arrives at the scene. 5:46, first call. I do remember it being worded as 5:43 though, and then 5:46, and then 5:53, but there you go. Who has the supposed video? We got Raven Hart. That's an interesting name. Last interview with Punch that tells what he did with the white shorts. Yeah, so I wonder if Raven remembers the condition of the shorts. Oh, we got Cindy. Shout out to Cindy. Where it stated the black shorts were wet. I don't remember the shorts ever being described as wet. Interesting. Okay. As I said, there is a particular thread where Michael comments, but you never know what could be in between. You got Shannon Sullivan. Is Shannon Sullivan the moderator or so on the army page? One of which could have kicked me from the army page. Oh, not Shannon Sullivan. Who could it? No, Shannon Scott. Let me make that very clear. I think it's Shannon Scott, not Sullivan. Different person. Hopefully people understand me there, because you know how people can go off on one at times. I remember once I made a reference where I said, oh, this human's a bit problematic, and then he just went off on. I thought, is it really that bad to say someone's problematic? Comments there. Christina Thompson, I have no idea. Ask Newton. What the hell going on there? I think Donna Bond's kind of showed up there. Oh, we got Moo leaving a comment as well. Michael, here we go. Michael Fazekas. I said hours before, not because I knew the exact time, but because it was pitch black outside. Probably should have considered clarifying that. It was before any sunrise or morning twilight. So basically, Michael was very, not in a truly negative way, but a bit reckless with the timing. That's why it came across as off. That's why it comes across as if going against Caden's timeline. But now Michael's saying that I should have made it a bit clearer or so. Let's just see what the responses are, and there seems to be quite a few of them. Have you seen the video? No, Michael hasn't. I've spoken to 3 separate people who have all seen it. Each one describes it almost identically. All 3 reported it to the law enforcement and sent the video to investigators. They 100% have this video in their possession. This particular video has a lot of important people in it, and not speaking up on Facebook has nothing to do with not wanting to. It's about protecting themselves. People have been physically attacked attempting to stop this video from being released. It will be made public if justice is not served for Noah. There we go. See, these comments are important. Anyone watching right now in the chat, let me know your thoughts to this. I know maybe with a previous bit of evidence or material, people are saying, you know what, if no progress is going to be made, it might as well be released public then. Well, I guess from the highway scenario, it could well be. Would it harm the case, though? Would it be diminished when it comes to key evidence? What else do we have? I think it's said that people haven't arrested anyone yet. No, he didn't say that. It's very clear who's in the footage. Oh, I thought Caden Pressey described the video as blurry. No, he didn't describe that. Caden Pressey clearly described or gave, to the best of his abilities, a description of who's within the footage. No names, but like a description of the clothing and the role. They could be a policeman, a firefighter, things like that. Even I think a badge number or so, which the police guy in the room was intrigued by or surprised. Michael, yes, it's disturbing. My guess is they want to make sure everything is done right. Yes, a person was attacked in her own home as someone tried to steal her phone, claiming to be with law enforcement. Is that Donna Bond? Because I don't know which person it was, but I'm sure I saw a comment in the past where they said my phone was stolen or there was an attempt made to steal it. I'm sure it could be Donna Bond, that. Who knows? Yes, I saw that several months ago, but I didn't think it had to do with this video. What do you think it was about? Oh, there we go. Pressey family, 2 other unrelated individuals, plus we can also count Kathy Bingham, who also has it, but is denying to have it. Right. So this is to do, Michael Fazekas reveals the people who have the footage. The Pressey family, 2 other unrelated people, interesting, and Kathy Bingham, because Kathy Bingham showed it to the Pressey family in the first place and passed it on that way. There we go. Interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. Ciao. I'm not 100% on this, but I swear back at the beginning of this, when all the videos were first shared on the groups. What? All the videos? Really? There was a very blurry screenshot of what was said to be the said video. It looked like whoever was filming it was trying to face the camera down, so it wasn't obvious that they were filming. I could be wrong, but I'm almost certain I remember seeing it. I haven't seen that video. I'm going off what the witnesses that viewed have said. So Michael hasn't seen the footage himself, but he's basing it off from what witnesses have seen themselves and then passed the info on to Michael. But what is Chell Ann talking about? All of the videos were shared on the groups. What, the shower one? The side-by-side rollover? A supposed murder footage video? The highway? I said, I've not been around for that long. Other people have. Now, if I was around from day one, just think what I could have documented. Because you know me, my memory, and how I can get screenshots or remember clips. Damn, if only I was here earlier. Wow. Anyway, yeah, I have a memory of it that I can't get off my mind. It was a screenshot of what was very obviously a video taken when it was nighttime and the camera was angled down, not to make it obvious that it was being filmed. I wish I had saved it, and unfortunately no one ever does because we were never anticipating it to be deleted in the first place. I remember Kathy saying that it was, but also no longer trust her. That's a hard one to base anything off. I'm glad I'm not going insane. I'm 99.9% sure. Michael Fazekas, this video shows Noah's body in graphic detail, so I hope no one is posting screenshots of it anywhere. But I'm glad to know another person out there has it so it cannot be destroyed or forgotten. Fair point. And suggested as being as a rumour. Everyone who's seen it wishes they hadn't. It's very disturbing and clearly had a highly emotional impact on the people who saw it. So the people who have seen the highway footage, tampered evidence, Noah shorts being removed, have been impacted emotionally, psychologically. And some of the people that have the footage, the evidence or copies, have been attacked. And one person received an intruder trying to steal their phone. Sounds pretty extreme, doesn't it? But I guess that's what happens when you're involved in a case to an extent and you're from the US and the case is in the US. It makes you a marked target, which is unfortunate. That's why sometimes covering a case cross-country is very practical. Anyway, so when you're saying this video occurred, it wasn't clear enough to see anything like that, thankfully. It was from that video. It would have affected me quite badly if it was, right? Must have been posted somewhere, then hey, and then deleted. Why would they post it? Who would post it? And then why delete it afterwards? Oh, sorry, made a mistake. Shouldn't have posted that. Teasing, dropping breadcrumbs in hopes of posting it quick so someone can save it and then delete it afterwards. Because if you wanted to pass it on to someone to get another copy, just do it privately in the background. Weird, isn't it? I don't know the exact time. I just know it was pitch black out with only headlights illuminating the scene. well, originally when Jack Newton was talking about the scene and when Caden was supposedly there, it wasn't dark, it was light. But then Caden Pressey himself saying, no, it was dark. And early hours of the morning can be dark, so you can tie it together. So what it seems like is when when Michael Fazekas said it was hours before the 911 call, it wasn't stated as a fact. It was just reckless, loose language. So I believe Michael Fazekas is basically meaning, from what he said in addition, that it's closer to Caden's timeline, or it's basically bang on, that it was after 5:30 when it took place, when it happened. And I believe that's how it was worded back then too, but maybe I didn't see that particular post or that area of the comment. But, you know, look, we're clearing it up as we go along now, in a way. Ciao. That's what I remember. It seemed pitch black. I assume nighttime, but obviously it stays dark until early hours in the morning. Yeah. Very blurry, though. Why would the footage be very blurry? Old phone, poor camera quality. Christina Thompson, I thought that Donna Bond incident was something totally different, but if that's what happened, then she must have seen the video as well. So it looks like I'm on the same wavelength. Mike, have you seen the video clip? Well, no. If it was taken from the passenger side of the truck, that he was parked near his feet. Okay. Clarifying. Well, if you're saying Donna Bond was attacked for having the video, then she must not remember that because she chose no video in the poll on this page. Donna, have you seen this video? Just trying to clarify. What's this all about? No, there's no video. Casey, Donna Bond. Oh, right. So what, there was a poll at some point on the case discussion page about, is there video footage out there? And Jasmine, oi, what's going on here? So unfortunately, the person got the screenshot of the votes, but not a screenshot of what the actual poll description was, which is a bit limited, but I'm guessing it's based off, is there any video footage or evidence or proof of tampering with evidence? And 19% said no. Jasmine Millan, Boo Combs, related to Avery and Carter Combs. Well, isn't that ideal or convenient? Jasmine Millan, party goer, states that there is no video footage of the highway, supposedly. No tampering with evidence. Boo Combs says the same thing. Well, at least votes, and it interpreted as no footage. Donna Bond, and it's been interpreted that Donna Bond had seen the footage, so it must exist, and they were attacked physically or approached in real life. Phone being taken off him. And now Donna Bond is saying that there's no video. Is that a change in behaviour? What's going on? That's how you interpret it here. So things are getting a little bit dark. Okay, we're all human and sometimes make mistakes. How were you able to see it? Are you sure it's the same video? Did you see Noah's body being moved, manipulated, shorts being removed, Bub walking across the camera in a light-coloured cowboy hat, camera panning up and down? That sounds very descriptive. Okay. Donna Bond responds, the video a couple of us seen isn't the video being talked about. Right. I've never seen the one Caden and his mother are talking about. Right. So Donna Bond has seen a video, and some of us, more than one, has seen it, but then Caden Pressey, what he's talking about is a completely different video. So you're telling me that there's multiple videos of the scene at the highway from different perspectives? But why did Donna Bond say that there was no video out there in that voting poll? She's not cleared that up from the looks of it. Michael, clarifying previous statements is not inherently a sign of deception. Often statements made hastily or in response to criticism may require further clarification due to vague wording, poor phrasing, or common human error. It's very well worded that. That's what happens. It's important to recognise that mistakes in communication happen. And that's the thing. Whether you make mistakes or you only know so much at the time, as long as you can clarify it, clear it up, update it in the future, that's what matters. And that's what's happening right now. That's what Michael's done from the looks of it, which is a good thing. I've done the same with my videos, like with the Kenny Veach case. Oh, there's a mystery here, but then later, I guess it's been solved, so I'll do an update video. No point leaving it open. What good does that do? Can you describe the video you have seen? Yes, ma'am. And Donna says, I'm not going to talk about it publicly, but yes, I knew some of the people in the video and some of their voices can be recognised. We also know who took the video. All of that has been turned over to law enforcement, 3 different departments just in case. So it looks like a lot of background stuff has happened, but on the public surface level, nothing's happened. But if it's all in the background, then that's just what happens. Michael says to Donna, the video was at the scene of Noah's body though, and it did show volunteer firefighter moving Noah's body with Bub clearly on camera, correct? And Donna says, yes, sir. Am I correct in assuming that the video you saw does not show the shorts being removed since that is the option you chose on the poll? Also, can you clarify that the video was taken by a first responder? Donna says, the video we seen, Noah was completely naked, not even shoes on his feet. What? That's another twist, isn't it? Now, it was Jack Newton that said Noah had one shoe on and then the other one was nowhere to be seen or something. Caden Pressey said when he was there, he saw Noah was with the black shorts and mismatched shoes. So when Caden left after 5:30, it's not just the shorts that were removed, but the shoes too. And there's video footage of that supposedly that Caden Pressey saw in terms of the shorts. As for the shoes, Caden didn't mention anything about footage of the shoes being taken off, the mismatched ones. But Donna Bond says that, yeah, she's seen footage as well of the scene, but not of what Caden saw, but after that. Bloody hell. There's a lot more going on, isn't there? The video we seen Noah was completely naked, no shoes on him. But shoes were added later then. Is that so? Is the act of, we'll replace Noah's shorts with someone else's shorts to stage a hit and run, and we'll add shoes onto Noah's body to make it more normal that he's on the highway with shoes on rather than bare feet. But when Noah originally walked away from the party house, there was no need to put shoes on because we've seen him outside on the patio with no shoes on, so the same thing would happen there. But then Noah wasn't able to return back to the party house because he was taken out, and then things were staged bit by bit and then placed over here, and then items were replaced or removed and added on. Oh my God, it's like that potato thing where you put a nose on, put the eyes on, the ears and the hair to construct some kind of creation. Also, was it like outside the video you saw? Donna Bond, yes, it was done by one of the volunteer firefighters. It was still dark. I mean, this is quite a lot of this I've not really seen before in detail. That's why we're looking at it now. Michael, do you feel like this video was the reason why you were attacked at your home? And Donna says, yes. No, I don't feel like the video is the reason the idiot tried to take my phone. Oh yeah, different response. So it's a video by first responders, nothing nefarious, just recording the scene. How did others view this? Donna, it wasn't done to document the scene. The idiot doing the video shouldn't have done it. Damn sure shouldn't have shared it with anyone. Same with the pics. Right. I mean, I've not seen these pics. I've not seen these videos. Interesting. Now, it wasn't done to document the scene. At what time was it done and what would have been the purpose behind it then? The footage that Donna Bond saw, different to what Caden Pressey saw. Which one happened first? Well, you'd think the Caden Pressey one, what he described from Kathy Bingham's passing it on. And Donna, with her version, what she saw was later, after that, because of the shorts being removed, but not replaced. The white shorts, I guess, being dumped on the side of the road. So who else came by then? This is a little bit messy. I've seen Noah's family talking about some pics or videos going around town. It's really awful. It's vile and disgusting. No, it was taken from the passenger side of the truck. The video was taken above the heads of men who were removing Noah's shorts. They kept putting the camera from the heads hot to the floorboard of the truck like they were hiding, taking that video. It was a small clip. Truck was parked straight parallel to where Noah's feet would have been. It was 3 people. One had a high-vis vest. Oh, one of them had a high-vis vest. Is that the same one later which Tyler Hardy referred to as telling someone to leave? You couldn't see them removing the shorts, but you could see 2 men holding Noah's upper body, whilst the one closest to the passenger side of the truck was swimming his hand downwards towards Noah's feet. Odd description. This is the video of his shorts being removed. Who was the patcher of the first truck in the first one who took the video? Or maybe it was the truck driver. Bloody hell. You could see, let's just move on. But it really looked like a passenger. The truck had a manual window crank. You could see when he pointed the phone to the floorboard. This is the video that Kathy somehow got sent to her. This is the video, the patio scene at Pressy's that she was sharing it to the family. Oh, that one. It's like a 20-second clip. In the original video of her sharing it with Alicia at the table, it did have sound, just like the video when it was leaked publicly. The window was up in the truck, but you could hear men talking over each other. It was the same sound in the Pressy's video. That video exists. It is real. It shows nobody's face. It was still dark out and the truck lights weren't bright, but it definitely was shining on Noah and those men. Believe Alicia has come on these threads to clear up any wrong information involving her family's name coming into untruths. And she set the record straight. She has made very little communication about what she saw from Kathy that day. I'm sure investigators pulled all those videos, just like they have. My opinion in the video was taken by the farmhand of Carter Combs' grandfather, who got the phone call to have the grandfather come to the scene, which happened before the 911 calls. I think that farmhand took the video, but that's just my opinion. A lot to process. Donna Bond says, excuse me, it doesn't show them moving him in the video, but the way he was in the video isn't the way he was found, if that makes sense. Michael, but it does show what looks to be a stage being set for a hit and run? Question. Donna, like I said, I will say the way his body was in the video is not the way his body was found. Not the way his body was found. By who? By Caden Pressy or beyond, when Tyler Hardy and Tyler H came on down in the police? From Caden Pressy's arrival, 5:21 to 5:30, Caden said that Noah's body was on his side, his neck twisted, and his legs and arms sprawled out. When Jimmy Williams, the undersheriff, a police person, arrived at around 6:15 or 6:18 a.m., described the body as being on its side twisted, but the arms weren't tucked in by the side. The legs were straight. So obviously it's been adjusted. The legs specifically. And the reason why the legs would be adjusted from being sprawled out from what Caden saw to tampering with evidence when Caden left and it taking place, to then later when police came on down to the legs being closed, I guess because of removing shorts. It's easier to remove shorts or underwear when your legs are closed. If your legs are spread, it's harder to take things off, right? I don't think justice can be served over people in charge that are corrupt. Question. OSBI, I believe, is much more involved than people realise. Well, hopefully so, because OSBI have been doing that case with Charles Coyote Dunn, the city manager of Wairika. Was he an individual, a certain Howard as well, that tried to attack you? Dark. Michael, yes. I think it should be, unless someone is probably not worthy of it. I thought it was Tim Howard. I thought so too. Wasn't him. So this confirms Caden Pressy has been telling the truth the entire time, unlike the others. Christina Thompson, sounds like you are really worried now, so go tell your buddies so they can shit their pants. Christina, aw, you think you're funny. None of my buddies have anything to worry about, so try again, honey. Yeah, we're seeing a bit more catfights again. No, it doesn't. Donna said the video she saw doesn't show the shorts being removed from Noah. Maybe read the whole conversation. Yeah, what Donna saw was after that, post-tampering, I guess. But still, multiple videos at the location at different times. So it seems a lot deeper than maybe what we would have thought. But at the end of the day, we're only going to know so much. Others will know more in the background. Whatever here, the video, we see Noah completely. Not even his shoes were on his feet. But how it's described in the autopsy that Noah was found wearing mismatched shoes. So basically, Caden Pressy saw Noah with shorts on and mismatched shoes, I guess. Then Caden, with the actual footage, he wasn't there, but he was shown it by Kathy Bingham much later on in the case, saw the shorts being removed, but no mention of the shoes being removed. Now, Donna Bond is saying that, the shorts were already gone by then, and the shoes. Interesting. It's like a timeline in a way. I wonder what the timestamps would be though. Interesting. There's another video out there. Multiple videos at the highway. The only guy in a high-vis that told Ken Pressing was to leave. You need to go back to the start. No, ma'am. Tyler Hardy states a volunteer firefighter in a high-vis told someone to leave. So either some people think Christina is a bit slow or going against what has already been said. Right. We don't need to get too much here because it starts going back and forth. Yeah. Yeah, it's just going on and on and on and on. We're just really here for what Michael has to say, to be honest. Oh, boy. Oh, stop spazzing out, you knob. Why does it do that? Okay. Unless you're back in 23, showing that unless you had called. Oh, yeah, that one as well. Well, that appears to be it, I believe, because, you know, I know there was a lot of comments, but we didn't need to get through every single one, but you get the idea now. A lot to process, a lot to remember, but I might have to rethink the title of this video because, you know, credit to the person that did say, take a look at that post on Facebook to do with what Michael previously said. I think the main important thing was trying to understand the timing. Hours before, and then Michael just recently said, no, it wasn't hours before. It's online with Caden Press's timeline. I just said it recklessly at the time because I wasn't quite thinking. And obviously with progression being made with time, get a better idea now. So it still seems to stand that at 5:21, Caden arrived at the scene with Brylan, Mikey and Isaac. We're there for about 10 minutes or so, then told to leave at 5:30. A pair of truck drivers present, but names not revealed. Jack Newton remains with the truck drivers. The other guys return back. And then whatever happens, happens then. But before 5:43 or 5:46, there's a time frame window, roughly 13 minutes or a bit more, in which whoever's present, volunteer firefighter, Bub Wilcox and supposedly police guy, and the removal of the shorts, and another person present behind the camera recording it. That seems to be the order, and it's remained like that since. So we got the consistency there finally, but it's the eye-opening details, extra stuff that was mentioned from that footage, which I've never seen or heard before, and then from what Donna Bond said about there's other footage, not in line with what Caden saw, but I saw something completely different, and that sounds to be beyond afterwards. At what point? See, at the end of the day, the easiest outcome, and whether it does or doesn't happen, just being realistic, the easiest outcome would be if those videos are released publicly or screenshots to an extent, maybe a bit censored, a bit blurred, so you can see the timestamp, you can see how it visually looks, and you can compare and contrast with each video depending on how many are out there from the different points of views. I think that would be a lot easier. Was there anything else to highlight? I mean, if something like the highway scene is going to be revealed public, or it could be in the future if not enough progress or justice is made, well then that bloody shower video might as well be released too. And the rollover video, because that's before the death of Noah. If sensitive footage could be released post-death of Noah, then the stuff before it and before the death should be too. I mean, so it tells me that if it doesn't happen in time, it might happen much later, like, you know, with the Dylan Rounds case where all that never seen before files, material and documents released. But at least in my mind, I know there's a process and you can't rush it, but it just becomes pointless, at least in my opinion, right? You can look back, but it's done and dusted the case by then. That's it. It's what matters in the moment when you got to use your mind, when you got to try and think and work stuff out and use what you have in front of you or what's currently available. It's more hard hitting. You can link with it more. You can see it better. You can feel it better. If you're looking back at a done and dusted case, looking at new material, it's like, well, yeah. I mean, it reinforces a theory. It reinforces this, what was said, and yeah. It's when it's in the moment, when it's live, I don't know, it's got more of an atmosphere, more of a feel. So, you know, obviously people that got to see the footage back then, they're not exactly lucky because some are traumatized by it. But, you know, for those that actually got to see certain videos and stuff, you have a much better idea, okay? If I saw those videos, okay, wouldn't be showing them because I guess wouldn't be allowed to. But if you got to see them at a time before they were taken away or so, visually I'd have such a better interpretation of it all. And then that's what would have enhanced the map analysis and much more. We're not going to get into it too much, but like when I said earlier about a channel, Criminals Hate Me, that's the name. And a viewer said to me that that channel made a reference about how I'm angry at them and it's pathetic and crying and all of that. A video 6 days ago or something that I did. I've no clue what planet they're on, or the odd other person, someone called Hog with a skull profile picture, but must be a little bitch boy to Criminals Hate Me or so. They come over here, complained, contributed F all, freeloader, same old bingo list checker. But at the end of the day, I've been focused on this case. The only reference I made was last person standing, relevant at the time when it was true. That's all. I have come across problematic people and I'm very aware of who they are, but that was elsewhere and other stuff. It wasn't to do, none of it was to do with Criminals Hate Me. I've not really had many run-ins at all with Criminals Hate Me either. It's more so viewers that have had issues with Criminal Hate Me, more so than myself. So it should be pretty obvious that, but unless someone's trying to create like a fantasy out of something which didn't happen. I mean, not that it links, but let me just bring up a new concept, okay? The concept of sexual frustration. The straps, the whips, the tools are not present at this moment. I'm sure some people would be very disappointed, but it is where it is. We're locked in right now. But back at the time of the Dylan Rounds case, you had sexual frustration. People weren't able to penetrate me, my channel. Context. There was a time where there was a private investigator, side person, some others, wanted to take over people's YouTube channels, make them successful. I was somewhat established, so I didn't need that, and I didn't trust it. Other people did who were smaller. They got burnt close to the fire and spat out afterwards. It wasn't worth it. It would have ended badly. I predicted it. Simple as, right? But because I resisted and I was stubborn, they didn't like it. So they got whingy, whiny, threw the toys out the pram for a small bit of time. And so did others with time. It's that sexual frustration. I want it. Oh, fucking give it to me right now, big boy. No, you're not having it. Simple as my channel, myself, you ain't coming gone. You ain't taking over. Simple as. So you got that frustration there in the past. Do we have the same levels nowadays with this case? I don't know if you'd say it's some kind of sexual frustration, lesbian stranglehold scenario of catfights. That's a mouthful, but in here, it will make sense and some people will pick up on it. Either way, it is all under control here. Because when people start acting out, adjustments will be made in many, variations. So it's all fine at the end of the day. But maybe some people are creating fantasies, making false stuff up and stories and scenarios. And I'm not talking about the case, I'm talking about, I guess, within the community. Oh, yeah, reminds me of the past as well. In the Dylan Rounds case and those stories. So things happen. There you go. But I think overall, today's video was needed and was important. A lot to process. Some of it might be forgotten, and that's not a problem. It happens. Things are more memorable if you've seen it yourself as for a photo, a video. If you haven't seen it, it's harder to remember. You know what I'm saying? It's like with the Partners in True Crime interview where I got that little clip. That's because I remember hearing and seeing it, their body language etched in the mind. If I just saw like a text, a comment referencing it, I'll probably forget. And I'm sure with people, it just happens. Anyway, maybe with time, something unexpected does happen, whether that be progress or just additional material popping up or returning from the past publicly. Time will tell. But that's it for now. Long video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Feel free to like and share to spread that awareness. And I've got to try and come up with a key title because there is so much to look at today. So yeah, good night and goodbye.